Hey everybody, I am Thomas and this is Writtance, where we write whole worlds. This is a fantasy short story about a Dryad and her Aearif doing some community work to prepare the capital of the Empire for the largest feast of the year. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the tale of Feast of the Fore. Watch out, heavy stuff coming through, out of the way! Writtance shouted, paving the way for him and his wife. Being an Aearif blessed with size, it was difficult for him to wade through dense crowds without hurting people, but thankfully he was equally hard to miss. People altered their course slightly to leave him room. 2 large barrels were firmly placed upon his shoulders, hanging dangerously over the heads of the passerby, who seemed to pay it little mind. As he approached the event hall, which had been repurposed as a communal kitchen, he looked back to see how his wife, Naya, was faring. Unlike her Aslan, she was not an Aearif, but a Dryad. Her lower half was that of a deer, but her torso was that of a human. On her back she carried a variety of sacks, each firmly tied down. In her hands she held a box that made her look comically small. Writtance couldn't help but chuckle at the sight. "Let me put this down, I'll take that," he said as he entered the kitchen. Stashing the barrels in the corner, he quickly reached over and took the box from her. Naya exhaled loudly as she looked at him. "It wasn't that heavy," she said, trying to control her breathing. She quickly walked past him as she noticed the smile creeping on his face and began to place the sacks next to the barrels. "That was the last load, right?" Still smirking from ear to ear, Writtance stepped over to where she was, to not obstruct the doorway. "Yeah, we're done. Let's give them some room for now." The two of them exited and turned away from the main street into the central park of Levatum. Writtance walked up to the edge of the lake, took his shoes off, and put his feet in the water. Naya simply stood behind him, looking up at the sky and the bright sun it carried. Its warm radiance relit but a few days ago. It's weird to think that it's already Feast of the Fore again. It feels like the season of dark had only just begun and it's already dawn again, Naya said as she began braiding her Aslan's hair out of habit. Writtance did not resist, nor did he even seem to notice that she was doing it. The water was somewhat warm, but still a lot cooler than the outside air, making it comfortable. He laughed as he listened to her. "Yeah, I know what you mean. We've been pretty busy after all. It's nice to just kick back and do some community work for a change." "I suppose," she said. "I'm also excited to get back on the road now that it's warm again, though." "Oh, don't worry. They're sending a lot of ships after the next harvest. There will be plenty of work for us," Writtance said, leaning against her front legs. "Right now I'm more interested in the feast. I don't envy the farmers having to deal with this every year." "Really? I think it's probably very exciting to see the crops that usually take months grow in a matter of days. Cinder is a mysterious lord," she said, enjoying the warmth of the sun on her skin. "Yeah, I wonder how that works. I get that Cinder refills the sun and all, but why does the heat make things grow faster?" he said, turning his head backwards to look up at her. "It's not just the heat. The pulse from Cinder's renewal is pure life force. That's why it doesn't hurt," she said, forced to let go of his braid, which fell on his face. "Is that some Dryad folklore?" Writtance asked, not bothering to remove the braid from his face, giving him a silly look. Naya forced his head forwards again and resumed her braiding. "Well, yes, but it also just makes sense. I mean, the heat hurts nobody and all the plants suddenly grow incredibly fast. If it's not life force, then what is it?" Her tone was almost defensive, but her hands were gentle as she handled the hair of her Aslan. "Seems like a waste," Writtance said as he was forced to look across the lake. "If Cinder spreads the life force out a bit better, we wouldn't have to organize a feast like this every year. Let's appreciate the gifts we get instead of criticizing them," she said sternly, tapping him on the head, to which Writtance laughed. "Yeah, you're right," he said as he raised his leg from the water, leaving only his big toes submerged. "Koiva." As he spoke his arcane request, a ball of water stuck to his foot, which he then picked up with his hand. Placing the water between his palms, he pressed them together before slowly drawing his hands apart. A razor-thin sheet of water spread out from between them, which he held up to the sun. The light refracted slightly within the water, creating a wave-like pattern on his face. "The world is beautiful. I shouldn't take it for granted," he said as he watched the light dance within the constantly moving sheet of water. Naya couldn't help but smile. Every time he did this, she remembered why she made him her Aslan. She finished braiding his hair and let it fall behind him. "Exactly," she said happily as she sat down next to him. She folded her legs in and rested her head on his shoulder. "Don't move. I want to take a nap," she said as she sighed theatrically. "Fine. Just this once." And that's that. Lots of world building shining through in this one. I'll be doing a video talking about the races like the Aearif and the Dryad in the near future, so look forward to that if you want a bit more context. Like the video and subscribe for more stories, fantasy, world building and other such whatchamacallits. I've got some links below if you want even more stories or a community to discuss fantasy in. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a fantastic day. Remember, our world is always open for you. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye.